With the price of everything going up nowadays, even the cheapest fast food restaurants are becoming no longer affordable. But for most, it's not just the cost of a Happy Meal that keeps us living paycheck to paycheck. It's really the cost of convenience. I came across an article showing the average food delivery service customer is spending over $400 a month, which has tripled over the past few years. And as a regular DoorDash customer, I had to see how much money I was spending and if I could cut back. So in this video, I'll be comparing the cost of a McDonald's meal that's delivered versus picked up from the drive-thru versus cooking the exact same meal at home. I started by placing an order on DoorDash for a big breakfast with hotcakes, which includes scrambled eggs, 1 hash brown, 1 sausage patty, 1 biscuit, 3 pancakes, and an orange juice. Now there's 4 fees that make up this order total. The subtotal, which is the true cost of the items, the delivery fee of $4.99, the service fee, which is either 15% or $3, whichever is higher, and the estimated tax. The other cost that you have to consider, of course, is the tip. And you're not going to believe this. In this article from Grubhub, it shows that the standard nowadays is to give your delivery driver a tip of at least 20%, but never less than $5. Personally, I'm used to tipping anywhere between 12 to 15%, which could be wrong, but let me know your thoughts about tipping culture in the comments. So considering this tradition, I included a $5 tip, which brought my order total to $23.27. And after placing my order, it took the delivery driver exactly 24 minutes to pick it up and drop it off at my house. Now let's look at the cost and how much time it takes for me to pick up the order myself. The closest McDonald's is about 1.5 miles from my house. And fortunately, when I got there weren't any cars ahead of me in the drive-thru. So I placed the exact same order that I got from DoorDash.
Yeah, can I get a big breakfast with hotcakes and a medium orange juice?
Including taxes and everything, my total came to $8.96. Compared to the DoorDash order, I spent less than half for the exact same meal because I didn't have to pay for all the extra fees. What surprised me most though, was from the time that I left my house to the time that I walked back in the door, it took exactly 11 minutes, which was half of the time that it took for the DoorDash order. This showed me how much money I'd been spending in the past simply for convenience. But even going to pick up the order myself was nothing compared to the amount that I saved by cooking it at home. Now, for this to be an even comparison, I'll have to take into consideration how long it takes me to drive to the store and get the items, and how long it takes me to make the meal. I'll also have to take the total cost of all the items and divide it by how many meals that I can make that mimic the McDonald's breakfast. So I made my way to the store to pick up all the stuff. To recreate the meal, I picked up a box of pancake mix, eggs, some frozen hash browns, sausage, some biscuits, orange juice, and syrup. I'll go over exactly how much I spent after I cook everything because I'll have to divide the amount that I spent at the grocery store by the total amount of meals that I can make. The trip took me 32 minutes to go to the store, complete all my shopping, and make it back home. Now it was time to get started cooking. Since the hash browns are frozen, I just had to warm one up in the microwave. I threw the biscuits on a baking sheet and put them in the oven. And I cooked the sausage patty, eggs, and pancakes on the stovetop. Once that was all done, I just had to pour my glass of orange juice and of course have the syrup ready to go. And from start to finish, it took me 34 minutes to cook everything. Now, obviously, that's so much more inconvenient than hitting the drive-thru or ordering from DoorDash. But let's see if it was actually worth it. Even though I had a ton of leftover ingredients from the store, I could only make 5 full McDonald's breakfasts with what I got. Looking at the receipt from the grocery store, I spent $18.98. So dividing that total by the 5 meals I can make, the cost per meal for me to cook at home would be $3.79. Now, of course, the downside is the amount of time that it takes to make a home cooked meal as opposed to picking something up or ordering delivery. But food is the one thing that most everyone underestimates when it comes to how much we spend. I came across an article that shows from 2021 to 2022, food spending increased 13%. And on average, Americans were spending nearly $800 a month between both groceries and eating out. On groceries alone in that time frame, there was an 8% increase due to inflation. And the data shows an absurd 20% increase anytime we want to enjoy the luxury of food away from home. And this data is based on 2 years ago. Now, I understand this is a personal question, but I'm genuinely curious. How much do you think that you're spending every month on food nowadays between groceries and eating out? And realistically, how many times on average would you say that you get food delivered on a weekly basis? There's no doubt in my mind that this is the primary source of overspending in many households. And just to see how much we could be overspending, let's look at this. Imagine someone was to order this meal once a day, Monday through Friday. By now we know the DoorDash order would cost $23.27, and the drive-thru would be $8.96. If we were to get it delivered each time, we would be spending $116.35 compared to $44.80 at the drive-thru. And get this, we would only be spending $18.98 for the same amount of food, possibly even more, on a weekly basis if we could resist the urge of convenience. So the best and worst case scenario on a monthly basis, if we followed this pattern, we would be spending about $465 on meal delivery versus about $75 a month if we cooked at home. So in the end, the article mentioning how much the average food service delivery customer spends every month actually checks out. But that's not even the most troubling thing. Overspending like this not only keeps us living paycheck to paycheck, but it can also hold us back from retiring and force us to have to work for the rest of our lives. Instead, if we were to budget our money and cut back just a bit, here's what could happen. Looking at this investment calculator, if we invested $250 a month into a fund called the S&P 500 from age 30 to around the age of retirement at 65, it would grow into nearly $1 million. If you're skeptical about investing in the stock market, I was too. But just over the past year, the money I've invested has grown almost 18%, which is over $6,000 from me doing absolutely nothing. If you want to start limiting your spending, I'll leave a link in the show notes below to the Rocket Money budgeting app that easily connects to your bank and creates a personalized savings plan. You can sign up for free and check out all of their amazing features. And if you're looking to start investing, I use the Robinhood app, which gives you access to the S&P 500 fund that I mentioned earlier, as well as tons of other investment funds. By signing up using my link below, Robinhood will gift you a free stock valued between $5 to $200 just to get you started. This channel is dedicated to helping people make and manage their money so they can eventually become their own boss and build unbelievable wealth. Like and subscribe if you want more information. Leave me a comment with any questions, and I'll be back soon.